Welcome to the Hollywood Happy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Drew, with my co-host here, Anthony, and welcome to episode 3. Been another week to where we had just a weekly showing last week. And last week, if you missed it, we talked about some of our favorite movies that we each watched and argue with that, so go check that out if you want to. It's a really great episode. And then this week, we're going to be talking about the weekly showing that Anthony had decided that we're going to be doing this week, which you'll learn my feelings about that weekly showing during this episode, so just hang tight and you'll learn all about that. Anthony, anything you want to say?
Just that I'm really excited for this conversation. Like, I can feel, you were trying to text me after, because we both watched it yesterday.
We both somehow ended up watching it at the exact same time.
Like,
I messaged him.
Maybe I was like 30 or 40 minutes ahead of you, but we were basically watching it at the same time.
I literally messaged him like, "What the hell is this movie?" I was like, "I don't understand." He's like, "How are we watching this at the same time?"
Yeah, and like I could tell he wanted to complain about it, but I was like, "No, save it for the episode."
I'm so ready. I'm so ready to complain about this movie.
Oh boy. You know what? I think I want to go first on this one then.
Oh man, okay.
Before
we get into it, how's life been for you, Anthony? Well, before we get a little bit crazy, how's life been for you?
It's been busy,
Yeah.
I got the 2 jobs going on, but theater's been fun. Getting ready for Joker coming out this week. By the time this episode airs, it'll be.
Joker airs this week?
Technically, the first showing is tonight. We're doing an advanced screening on the 30th, but yeah, its release date is October 4th. So.
Oh, what the? I have not been paying attention whatsoever. I've been so busy. I've had no time to go to the theaters, and then also not having a car that's really mine. It makes it a lot harder.
Yep.
So a quick thing. I got a big car wreck. My car got totaled. Getting a new car soon. So I haven't been able to see any new movies. I've canceled so many tickets with my A-list. I feel so sad about it. I had to cancel to see The Wild Robot. I really wanted to see it. Heard it was really good.
I'm afraid to see that in theaters, dude.
Really? Why?
Because, okay, I've seen a few people, one of my friends especially, was like, it made them cry. And,
oh, man.
And I'm all for that. I'm all for it. It looks like a very beautiful film. Like, it looks like it's gonna hit the feels, it's gonna have a good message, all the things. But I'm not sure if I'm ready to, cry in front of an audience again. Last time I did that was Toy Story 3, and that did not go well for me. I was sobbing like a little baby.
Oh, man. I cry at so many movies, I don't care anymore.
I just don't want to cry in front of a bunch of, kids who are just watching it and, not caring or understanding what's happening. And they're like, why is that grown man crying? Shut up!
What's it called? When I first I'm blanking. When I first saw the trailer for Wild Robot, they didn't show the robot talking at all. And I thought that was a really cool concept. I was like, oh, this robot doesn't talk and is with these animals, it's kind of gonna be like this non-dialogue film.
Yeah.
And when I heard the robot talk for the first time in one of the trailers, I was like, that would have been so cool if there was no dialogue the entire film and it was just animals and robot.
I didn't even know that the robot spoke. I know that the animals speak, because I saw that trailer. I guess I just must have missed the robot talking. But yeah, I saw the animals speak and I was like, oh, okay. Because I thought it was going to be WALL-E almost, like the first half of WALL-E.
Yeah.
Where it's just him. Which, that movie gets so much crap for that. I actually love the first half of WALL-E.
The whole
it's such a great movie.
Oh, it's so good.
But him just, doing his job on Earth, trying to do the best he can. There was something so sweet about that. And I didn't need dialogue.
It's the best part of the film for me, is him.
Me too. I love it.
I love the scene where he sits there and he's, watching the movie in his, trailer or whatever. And he, doing the hand-holding thing. And it's, him, we're seeing him desire connection without words. And it's really cool to see. And people, hate on that so much. And I'm like, no, that's cool.
People said it was boring, which is crazy to me. It just shows the attention span. Anyway, off track. But yeah, no, I'm probably I want to go see Joker on Sunday, next Sunday at least. I'm not gonna be able to see it beforehand, but
hopefully I can go see it.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out because, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we could do a little double feature next week where we talk about Joker if you get to see it, and next week's first official horror movie.
I thought it was this week was first official horror week. Yeah,
well,
this week.
Yes, it is. It is this week, but by the time the schedule is weird. By the time the next episode airs, we'll talk about the Sleepy Hollow movie, which is this week's, and hopefully Joker. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, wait, no, we're starting this week. This week's what's it called? It's like October 3rd this Friday? Yeah.
October 4th
October
is
4th.
this Friday.
Yeah, October 4th. So I was like, it's spooky season now. So yeah, we're technically starting the horror movies. Yeah, no, I really want to see Joker. I saw it's getting mixed reviews.
Go to the first one.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. And I was like, I don't know.
But the first one was still the highest grossing rated R film up until Deadpool and Wolverine, so.
Yeah. And speaking of mixed reviews, friggin' Francis Coppola's new film, Megalopolis, that I asked you to go see with me.
Yeah.
It's getting so shit on right now. And
I don't know if I want to see it, honestly.
I kind of wanted to see it. It looked interesting to me. And then, like, seeing all these reviews and nobody's going to see it. It had like a $120 million budget and only got like a $20 million opening weekend or something.
I don't know. I saw one trailer and nothing about it really like struck me. Not even like enough to be like, oh, I'll check it out when it comes out on streaming or DVD or whatever. I don't know. And I love Adam Driver. Like I don't think I've really seen a bad film with him that I can think of. But I don't know. I don't really, nothing about this is really grabbing my attention.
Yeah, I get that. It just, I don't know, for some reason it drew me in, but now I'm seeing all the bad reviews and stuff, and I get swayed by reviews easily, so I was just like, I don't know.
I will say, I don't care about reviews. If I want to see a movie, I'm going to watch it regardless of reviews. Especially because I don't trust a lot of critics now. I feel like...
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I care more about audience reaction than I do critic reviews. Like, anytime I see, like, you know, the early critic screening reviews that come out, I literally just ignore those. Like, for Joker. Like, when the first one came out, everyone thought it was, you know, glamorizing violence and mental health and blah, 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 blah. And they wanted that movie banned from theaters because they thought it was going to incite violence and another theater shooting and all that stuff. So
I remember that, yeah. And then whenever I think of reviews, though, I'll take the critic review lightly and then wait for the audience one.
Yeah.
But the only time I don't take the audience review into account is Marvel movies. Like, every Marvel movie is going to have like at least a 70% or 80%. It's just given fact. And then reviews I do not trust whatsoever is friggin' IGN.
Oh yeah, no, me neither. IGN is like the worst for when it comes to reviews. But I barely even trust Rotten Tomatoes anymore.
Yeah.
Like Rotten Tomatoes has been like a lot of the movies that do so well on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm like, bro, really? Why? And then vice versa. Movies that do poorly on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm like, bro, this was actually good though. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. So, I remember they dropped a review for the new Joker on IGN and they gave it like a 4 or a 5. And then they Agatha episode 1 or whatever for the new Marvel show dropped and they gave it an 8. And I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way.
However, I will say the Agatha show has been pretty good so far.
I refuse to watch it. I'm sorry.
Why?
One, I didn't like WandaVision that much.
What?
I thought Agatha was the most annoying villain.
Oh, she's so awesome. Like, especially in this, she's a little bit more fleshed out. And like, I don't know, just her demeanor and the whole thing is just... I'm kind of here for it. I don't know. I love it. It's surprisingly. I watched the trailers
and I didn't like it, and now I'm seeing all this stuff about Mephisto, and I'm like, oh, yeah. So they really just did Mephisto because they didn't do it in WandaVision. Okay, that's interesting.
Well, we haven't seen Mephisto yet, but I've heard
we're going to probably.
I mean, that'd be big. That's a big thing.
And then he'll never come back again because Marvel plans are so all over the place.
I don't know. I think they cleaned up a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm still not Marvel's fan, like number one fan anymore. Like, I used to love all their movies with the couple in between. And then, you know, I've stopped watching them in theaters. I just don't care about them anymore. Like, the next one I plan to see is Fantastic Four.
I'm excited about that one, actually.
Yeah, me too. But they have the audacity to try to go up against Superman, which is going to make me hate them.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to compete with Superman. They're trying to shoot... I don't know how true this is. It's coming out the same month. But I don't know... Because I heard that they were trying to shoot for the exact same release date as Superman.
Huh.
And... Yeah, I'm going to fight someone if they try to do that. Take away from my Superman. Hell
That's crazy.
No.
Oh my gosh. I do have a lot of faith in Fantastic Four.
I don't.
Based on the leaked footage I saw, it looked really nice. And then, what's it called? Pedro Pascal hasn't been in like a super duper bad project since like Wonder Woman 84.
Which is funny because he was actually good in that movie. The movie
he was the
trash,
best part. He was the best part by
Yeah.
far. And so he hasn't really been anything like bad. I think the lowest score was like a 70% or something like that on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that. And I think it was Wonder Woman 84.
I have no problem with Pedro Pascal. I just hate that they're casting actors because I don't know. Like I don't feel like I don't think that Joseph Quinn fits the Human Torch. I don't think that Pedro Pascal is Mr. Fantastic. The other two, whatever. But like, I feel weird with those two being those characters. It just doesn't feel right to me. So I have to wait and see.
Joseph
what's
Quinn,
happen.
I feel like would fit it.
Not Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm is a hothead, your
he could play a
style.
hothead. He could,
but
play
he's not a jock. Like he does not give off that vibe whatsoever. Now, I'm not gonna fully knock it yet. This is just initial impressions because he is a very good actor, especially seeing, his scenes for Gladiator 2 in the trailer. Like, okay.
Oh yeah, Gladiator 2. I'm excited about that one.
I'm indifferent, but seeing the war games is gonna be pretty cool.
First Gladiator is great. I just I was skeptical about a second one as well, and then I saw that trailer with all the war games, and I was like, oh,
it looks cool. Like the Sea Games or whatever they were called. Yeah. Those look cool. But anyway, let's get back. We went so down the rabbit hole here.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I wanted to avoid this conversation.
No, we don't. We don't. We need to have this. We need to. Okay, we need to. Like,
I swear to God, if you sit here and you're just glazing up this movie like it's the best, and you give it like anything higher than a 5, like you and say it's better than Wind Rises.
Oh, absolutely.
Going to.
For different reasons. Okay, hold on. Oh, and you can hear a pin drop on Drew's side. All right, listen. I'm gonna tell you. We're gonna soften you up here a little bit. All right. This is one of those really bad horror movies that is fun. It's just a fun gore fest, and it's not good for anyone out there. It is not good, and I'm not gonna give it anything like a super high score. However, I am gonna give it a 6 out of 10 because.
Hey, sorry guys, I have to let you know this is the last episode of the Hollywood Happy Hour podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. Oh my God.
Listen, but you look, okay, you're not super seasoned to the whole like horror film slasher gore fest style horror movies. If you're not a horror fan in any way, shape, or form, I can see why you're hating everything about this movie, right? If you actually sit there and enjoy like just slasher gore fest like this, like Thanksgiving, like Terrifier, let's go, like, I mean, we can even say like, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, things like that, where it's just a slasher film that doesn't need to make sense and it's just cheesy and corny and there's blood everywhere, then this is definitely, it fits well in that category. If you like that type of thing, it is a fun watch. If you do not, clearly like my co-host here, it is not your type of movie at all whatsoever. It has its cheesy one-liners. It has an entertaining killer who, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked the getup that he wore, the pilgrim outfit. And it had some ridiculous scenes. Like they turned one of the people into like a turkey. Like they.
That was disgusting, bro. I was like, what is happening?
Like he was feeding his family. So, okay, let me give a brief synopsis of what's happening here. It's very basic. So the movie opens up with a Black Friday sale at a store called Right Mart, basically making fun of Walmart. Mm-hmm. And during this Black Friday sale, there's this massive stampede, and people end up dying.
It's not even a stampede. It's literally people murdering each other over a waffle iron. Like, that's literally it. You literally watch some woman beat a dude over the head with a waffle iron that she wanted to get for free. So she kills him to get the waffle iron. It's like, what is this movie?
You don't understand. It was free for the first 100 customers. That's a big deal. I'd kill you too. Anyway, and I hate waffles, but it's free. But yeah, that's basically what happened. So the following year, there's this killer that's taking revenge on people involved with it. So the next year, the store is going to do another Black Friday sale. So the mystery killer
I'm just remembering the motive and how dumb it was. It was
because they were doing another sale the next year?
No, why the killer was doing what he was doing. I just remember the motive and laughing my ass off because it was so random and so dumb.
Oh yeah, he's like, yeah, she actually. So one of the people that died was. Oh
wait, I want to explain this part. Go ahead.
Go ahead. All right.
So, in this stampede of craziness, one of the employees who works there, we see a little bit of backstory, and his wife comes to the store and sneaks through like the employee entrance to give him a Thanksgiving dinner because he didn't get to have Thanksgiving dinner because it's Black Friday sale. And so before she can give him the dinner, the stampede starts. They break through the door, and everyone starts running in, and someone knocks her over. And instead of being a normal, sane person, she had no injuries. She decided to crawl on the ground in the middle of a stampede. Instead of try to stand up and run away, she's crawling on the ground and then gets hit in the head by someone driving a shopping cart, and then the shopping cart gets the hair stuck in the wheels, and the person tries to back up and repeatedly hits her in the head until the hair literally pulls off her scalp, and she dies because like she got like her neck snapped basically because she got hit by the freaking shopping cart. And I'm sitting there like, one, this is the stupidest death ever because you could have just avoided this by standing up, and then two, later in the film you find out it wasn't the worker who was the killer in the end of the movie.
It was the very end of the film. You find out.
The very end of the film. It wasn't the worker who was the killer in the movie, getting revenge for his wife. It was the sheriff that you see interact with her for like 2 seconds, and like all of a sudden he says like, "I loved her and she loved me, and she was gonna leave me for her husband, and we were gonna have a family," and shows a picture of like an ultrasound of hers. I'm like, this is so random. This is so out of the blue. Like, okay, it was a little bit of a twist that it was the sheriff, and I was kind of like shocked a little bit by that. And then you pull out this friggin' like cheating thing, and I was like, what in the world? It could have been like, oh yeah, as a sheriff, you know, like I had to enact justice. That would make way more sense than saying, oh yeah, I had an affair with this random employee's wife who died in the accident. It's like, bro, what?
I fail to see your problem with the film.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, yes. That's exactly my point, though. It is stupid. It was so dumb. However, I was enjoying every second of that movie. The kills were ridiculous. It was just so dumb, but so fun. Oh my god! I will admit,
some of the kills like made my stomach turn. I was like, ugh, like I couldn't watch a couple of them.
Which is funny because this is one of the more mild films like this. Because, okay, so the film was directed by Eli Roth, which I don't know if you're familiar with any of his other films. He hasn't done many, but his resume includes movies like The Green Inferno and Hostel, which, if you've never seen or heard of any of those movies, they are hard to watch. Hostel and Green Inferno specifically came out, 12, 15 years ago, maybe?
Oh, you don't know how I know Eli Roth?
Huh.
Because he directed the shitstorm that is Borderlands.
That's right! Yes! He directed Borderlands. Yeah.
That movie was so god-awful. No wonder I didn't like this movie.
No, you just don't like fun movies, and that's fine. That's fine.
Borderlands wasn't fun. That was painful.
I won't watch it yet. I'm sure I'll watch it with someone at some point, but I have no interest in watching it by myself. Honestly, props to you for going to see it in theaters. And, like, even though you had a free A-list ticket to see it, props to you for wasting it.
I was just like, dude, like, I sit here and do these movie reviews and things like that. I gotta go see this. I played the games when I was younger. I didn't get super far into them, but I played them. And I at least knew the basics. And then I was like, watching this movie, I'm like, this is so ass. Oh my god.
I need to watch the movie with my best friend because he loves Borderlands. I played Borderlands with him and his brother a couple years back. We played the third one together. Like, they love Borderlands so much. So I don't think he's seen it yet. I kind of want to watch it with him and get his take on it. Because even though I've played the second game and played the third game, I don't care much for it, really, to begin with. It's not my style of game. So
then it's not going to be your style of movie. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, no, I'm absolutely positive of that. I'm sure I'm going to hate every second of it. However, I would like to watch it with someone who I know has, like, actual thoughts and passion behind the topic. So, yeah, I'm interested to see his take on it. But, yeah, so Eli Roth did that nightmare of a film. But let me explain to you why I'm going to give you... I gave this movie a 6 out of 10. Let me explain to you. 5, as we went over last week for me, is average. It's a mid-film. Like, I would watch it again, but not on my own. 6... means I would totally watch this again on my own, but it's not good.
Why would you want to watch a 5? Like, that... in my brain, if a movie's a 5 out of 10, that is like... I definitely would not watch this again. 6 out of 10 is like a maybe I'd watch it again. 7 out of 10 is like, yes, I'd watch this again.
No, see, 5 is mid. 5 is average. 5 is like... It's if you put the line, horizontal, you put 5 as like at a 0, right? So you got 0... and then to the right of that, you got through 5, and then to the left of that, you have negative 5, basically, if you want to look at it that way. But it's, it's out of 10. I don't know. 5 is just, it's a midpoint for me. It's average. Whatever. 6, I would watch this again. Do you want to know when I would watch this movie again, Drew? Do you want to know when?
Thanksgiving.
Nope. Right before Thanksgiving 2 comes out next year.
No. No, you're kidding me. They're making a second one?
Here's the thing you gotta understand.
How did that get approved?
Let me explain to you this thing with horror films. They are cheap to make. They are so cheap, and they make money. It doesn't take much for them to make a profit. Also, this movie has a little bit of a history. So, this is not a new movie. It just came out in theaters, yes. However, back in 2007, Eli Roth...
about this a little bit. It was like...
I think I did, yeah. But in 2007, he did a short film called Thanksgiving. And pretty much everything in that trailer short film was in this movie, except for like 50% more graphic in terms of the things that you saw. And that's kind of where it started. So Thanksgiving has kind of had like a little bit of a cult following since 2007. So it's no surprise that it did well enough to get a sequel. Now, this getting a sequel shouldn't surprise you if we already know that Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is also getting a sequel dropping on Peacock in a few days.
But that's different.
How is that different?
Because that's a funny one that's not meant to be taken seriously whatsoever because it's based off a beloved children's book.
Thanksgiving wasn't meant to be taken seriously. It's just a slasher. Do you know what Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is about?
Yeah, it's like Christopher Robin never returned back to the Thousand Acre Wood, right? And so they go off and kill people.
Well, they become like rabid. So then,
they ate all the other people. Like
because Christopher Robin was bringing them food, and then he didn't show up again. So they vowed to hate humanity and then never speak again. And then they had to eat Eeyore to survive the harsh winter or whatever it was. So they became cannibals and like just these rabid like killing animals.
The thing is though, that's a parody of something. That is not this. This is like an original plot based off of a holiday. It's not like a parody of something. Blood and Honey is a parody.
So much fun.
I would like to watch Blood and Honey. I would not mind watching that.
Oh boy, that one's actually tough to watch. That one is so bad. What's funny is the intro to Blood and Honey is actually really interesting because it's like an animated intro that talks about like Christopher Robin leaving the 100 Acre Wood or whatever it was, and calling it a day there, and then like you have like the whole we ate Eeyore.
I can't believe this shit show got a sequel. It's like I watched the end of the movie, and I was sitting there, and then like they did that whole like little dream thing, I was like, I swear to fucking... Or then when they said, like, oh, nobody gets right in fire like that. Like, he's gone. We couldn't find him. And it was like, I swear to fucking God if they make a sequel. Like...
Well, you knew they were, because they're like, we couldn't find his body, but no one could survive. Everything that was in that body was turned to ash. No, it wasn't.
I'm just sitting here, I'm like, if you really had to put Addison Rae in your movie to get people to come watch the movie, obviously it was not going to be a good enough movie. Like, come on.
I think your highest paid actor in that movie was Patrick Dempsey. As the sheriff.
Probably, but Addison Rae was probably close behind for her 5 minutes she was in the film.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. 6 out of 10. I need to hear your rating.
4 out of 10.
Oh, hey, that's not too bad.
The kills were satisfying at times, and I laughed. I got a good fucking laugh out of the movie.
It's enjoyable.
I was sitting there and I'm like laughing at this thing. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing ever.
And you know what's funny? As I'm looking at this right now, right? I'm on IMDb. The movie got a 6.2 out of 10. So this is one where me and IMDb are pretty much exactly on point. 6 out of 10. It is enjoyable enough.
4 out of 10 is a bad score for me. Like, that's not good.
You know, like, at some point
Okay, wait, actually... I'm trying to think here, because I gave Godzilla x Kong a 4 out of 10.
Oh, that's tough.
That movie was awful. But
before you continue with that, though, like these are very different movies. So
yeah,
you can dislike
that's why I was saying
reasons.
that because I was sitting there disliking Godzilla x Kong because of how badly they butchered that and Kong and how ridiculous it was when it could have just been something as simple as Godzilla King of the Monsters, and then they did this whole crazy shit show of a movie, and And then this one was just awful. It was so bad plot, so bad acting, and I was just like, "What in the world?" And
Bro, okay, I don't want to hear it.
Was the sheriff's name? What was the sheriff's name again?
What was his name? His name was...
You literally just said it. It's like Patrick...
Patrick Dempsey, yeah, the actor.
What was his accent? That was the weirdest accent ever.
The movie was shot takes place in Massachusetts, so he was doing a Boston accent.
That was the worst Boston accent I've ever heard in my life. I was like, oh my god.
Trust me, I know. I'm from there.
Yeah, I was like, oh, like it sounds awful. I'm like, what are you trying to be? It changed throughout the film.
Here's the thing. When I had like my literal "let's go" moment because I love corny slasher films when they have like the cheesy one-liners, and he's in like the climax of the film, and he's like, "There will be no leftovers." I'm like, "Bro, let's go!"
The cheesiest line ever.
And they doubled down on it. They're like, "You were right.
They said it several times.
There will be no leftovers." I was like, "Yes." We got it twice in like a 10-minute period.
Oh, and then one of my favorite things though about the movie that was just the stupidest thing ever was in the end of the film when they're like running away from the sheriff, right? And they like get caught on the fence and they're like looking at the truck from the other side of the fence. They act like they can't get over the fence. And then when the sheriff comes over and gets really close to finding them, all of a sudden there's an opening in the fence that they easily can access that's right next to them. I'm like, why didn't you just go through that opening immediately? Like, it was right next to where you were standing.
You can't question horror films. There's a reason they have a commercial about that where it's like there's a bunch of kids running from the killer, and there is a car that's running with the keys in it, and then a shack filled with chainsaws, and they just run to the shack with chainsaws. Like, horror movie logic is not a thing. Like, it's the dumbest people making the dumbest decisions. And that's part of why.
And that's what pisses me off so much about horror films. That's why people make the stupidest decisions ever, and I can't sit there and watch them make these decisions because I'm like, you're an actual idiot.
This is why we gotta loosen you up a little bit to horror movies.
It's like horror movies can have good plots. They can have interesting stories. They can have characters that make good decisions. Why can't? No, I was just like, oh my god.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So, all that being said, 6 out of 10 for me, 4 out of 10 for him. I think we should workshop an actual review scale that is universal for both of us, because you and I view 0 out of 10 very differently. So I think it makes it a little bit tricky. So we should come up with something that is like our grading scale for the movie rankings, because they are not matching up. But that's okay. That is okay. Because to me, a 4 out of 10 for you. What's that?
I'm trying to just think of it like
we got plenty of time, as in forever. So I honestly, yes, I would watch it again. I honestly might watch it on Thanksgiving. Who knows? Who knows what I'm feeling? I might be feeling a little bit spooky on Thanksgiving.
It was so bad. And then like I remember like I kept checking to see like what minute mark the movie ended at, because I had my Japanese lesson, like I kid you not, 3 minutes after the film ended. And as I was scrolling to check, I saw there was a post-credit scene. I didn't give a fuck enough to watch the post-credit scene. I was just like, turn it off. I'm done. Like,
wait, I didn't even know that either. I have to go back and watch the post-credit scene.
I just saw it was with the dad of like the main character girl, and he was like the right mark guy.
Oh. Which we know him from the show Suits.
Oh, my family's obsessed with that show.
It's such a good show.
That's why I recognize him, because I've watched my family's watch that show before.
Yeah. I don't know. I was excited after I saw it, because I knew you were going to hate every second of it. And even though it doesn't actually sound like you hated every second of it, it sounded like you, even though you hate to admit it, got some enjoyment out of the movie.
I just couldn't stop laughing at some of the kills, which sounds demented, but some of the deaths, I was like, ugh, and then like laughing at the same time, because I'm like, this is so dumb. Like the chick just beating the hell out of the dude with the box with the waffle iron in it. I'm like, was that needed? Did you need to murder that man for the waffle iron? Like,
you don't understand how perfect it was. There's one kill in the movie, one kill, that I actually went back and rewatched, because I was like, there's no way in hell this just happened. And it was one of the first kills once the killer starts killing everybody. And it's the chick at the diner. And she's climbing into like a dumpster. And the dumpster lid falls on her. And she just gets cut in half, like she's like a hot knife through butter.
I watched that. I'm like, dumpster lids are not that heavy. That's wild that
What's
happened.
Funny is I've had one fall on my arm before. It doesn't feel good, but it didn't sever my arm. So when that just happened, I was like, hold on, did I see that right? I rewound the movie to see. I was like, yep, nope, it's a dumpster lid. Got it. Cool. Moving on. It was just, oh man, I had so much fun with it.
Yeah, I remember during the massacre scene in the beginning of the movie, I wasn't paying attention to the main character in the shot. I was paying attention to the extras, because everywhere you looked in the background, extras were just doing the most like offhand, like craziest things, and I was just like, what is happening?
They really were. Those were some good extras.
One kill that made me laugh was when we're like seeing the rival school kid and like this cheerleader like jumping on the trampoline. I'm like, this is the corniest and cheesiest like way to turn on your boyfriend. Like, I'm gonna go jump on this trampoline and you're gonna come watch. It's like, what?
That was okay. So that was from the original. That was a scene in the original short, and I want to say we got some X-rated shots in that scene. Honestly, in the original one.
In the original one? Oh,
yeah. I want to say, like, because the knife went through her...
you know what?
How should I say? Yeah, her female private part.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in forever. Like, it's been at least 10 years since I've seen it. But I think you saw her, like, private area. And I'm like, oh, boy. Like, it was definitely interesting.
I just remember watching that scene. I'm like, why is there a trampoline in the middle of this blacked out, like...
We don't
gym,
it.
And then why was that the way that she wanted to go turn him on when he was clearly already ready for it as soon as he left the weight room? You could have just gone behind the stage and started doing it, but no, you had to go jump on the trampoline. Like, it makes no sense.
It was so fun.
I was just like, or then, there were so many different things. Oh my god, the scene where she's hiding with the like heads in the dressing room, and then like I remember sitting there and I'm watching it. I'm like, she's behind a counter. Why is she sticking her head above the counter when she could just be hiding behind the counter?
Because it was a fun scene.
It's just like I'm like, you're fighting for your life. Make smart choices, not like stupid choices.
No, that's not horror movie logic. You're gonna learn that.
Dude, the kids in Jurassic Park had more logic than most of these characters in the movie.
Jurassic Park's not a horror movie.
What do you mean? That's a total thriller. This is as much of a horror movie as Thanksgiving is.
It absolutely was not. But I will say,
dude, the Velociraptor kitchen scene when I was a kid had me pissing my pants.
Hey, but so did everything else, though. Apparently.
No, dude, Velociraptor scene's still scary and like really on the edge of your seat for first-time watchers. It is like really good.
We did not have the same experience with that. I didn't feel scared in Jurassic Park, but I can see how that's I guess spooky. I will say, horror movie logic. This is not a new thing. I guess be thankful I'm not having you watch any of the modern day Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, because you think the logic in this movie is bad.
I haven't seen any Texas Chainsaw Massacres either.
Only one that's good is the first one. The original 1974, I think was when it came out. That one's actually really good. That's good, and it still holds up to this day, I think. But after that, no, oh boy, is it bad. Okay, cool. Well, that's the first little horror film done. As
soon as I turned on that movie and I saw Addison Rae sitting in that car, I was like, is that Addison Rae? There's no way. I googled the cast list and I was like, it is her. I know this movie's gonna be ass now. I just knew it was gonna be bad, and I was right. It was horrible.
You got a 4 out of 10.
Probably to your scale, it'd be like a 2 out of 10.
Oh.
Yeah, my scale, it's like a 4 out of 10. Because I have a teacher's brain scale, so like anything below a 7 is like not great. Like a 6 is almost a failing score. 5's a failing score.
Yeah, because you're viewing it as each point is like 10 points. So like if I give it a 9, it's a 90. I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
But like, no. So you're giving the movie on your scale. You're saying if this movie was a test, if you were a film teacher and someone handed you this film, and you would give them a 20.
On your scale of 20, my scale of 40.
So you're failing them from this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. That's
I'd be like,
brutal.
your kills were satisfying, but what else did you have to offer me during the movie? Absolutely nothing.
So much enjoyment, bro. There's an element of fun to be had by watching senseless
That's
violence.
a lie. That is a lie.
It is not a lie. You know what? You know what we should do? We should put a poll if they liked the movie or not.
Oh my gosh.
We should. I'm interested to see. I am very interested because
hopefully half our audience hasn't watched this movie because it would save them the hour and a half it wasted me.
Let me see something real quick. Hold on. Let's take a look. Let's take a look-see real quick at how well this did. I'm interested. Do another one that's coming out soon, either next week or the week after, is Terrifier 3. Now that's an extreme movie. I don't know if you've heard anything about those movies.
I haven't.
Oh boy. Okay, so its budget was $15 million. Opening weekend, it made $10 million. Total, it made $46 million.
I can't believe someone spent triple what I'll probably make in my entire lifetime on making that film.
You don't understand? I am probably going to go see the second one in theater.
I don't think you could pay me to go watch the second one, because if I know anything about horror films, the second one is usually worse.
That might be true. That might be true. Yeah.
So I don't think you could pay me to go see that in theaters. I wouldn't even use my free ticket on it.
Well, you can use my free ticket on it because I might be taking you to go see that.
I'm not using any. I don't care about using my free tickets or not because I don't see 3 movies a week. So it's like I wouldn't even use the one movie I see a week on it. I'd rather go watch something else for a second time.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll soften you up. We're gonna go see it. It'll be great. We'll have fun. It made its money back and made a profit. So like that's that's kind of all a horror movie needs to get a second one.
Dude, $20 million, though, in today's movie market is like a total of 200 people going to see a movie, though. So let's be honest with ourselves here. Movies are that expensive now.
Listen, it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. It made $46 million worldwide. Like, that's not bad. It's not good. It's not bad.
It's like $1 million a country, almost.
Yeah.
Not even that.
Mr. Analytics, chill out, okay? It made its budget back. And I'm honestly surprised it made $10 million opening weekend. Not gonna lie, that's impressive. A $15 million budget, $10 million opening weekend? Alright.
I bet you half them were Addison Rae fans.
I don't think so. Like I said, Thanksgiving has a cult following because of the short film.
You underestimate the power of Gen Z and these TikTokers, dude. It's insane.
I really do.
As a teacher, you see the effects in culture and how we grew up and things like that. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know who she is. At all.
She literally only got famous because she dances on TikTok. That's it.
Well, that's dumb. But
yeah. And then they put her in like several movies because she's stunt casting like they did the Madonna back in the day with like League of Their Own and stuff.
That's fair.
So they put her name on the movie, and then it gets people who like her to come see the movie, and then they're only in it for about 10 minutes, just like Madonna.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up the first week. Should we get into week number 2?
Oh boy.
All right. I have actually high hopes for this week because this one is a legit movie that's not made as like a gag or a joke or just a cheap kill movie. I mentioned it at the beginning and last week, so it's no secret. But we're gonna go Sleepy Hollow. I'm trying to fit the fall vibes things going on here. Sleepy Hollow was my first horror movie / rated R movie.
1999 with Johnny Depp?
99, yes sir. It is a Tim Burton film with Johnny Depp, and it has everybody else in it. It's got a massive cast. Christina Ricci's in it. Ian McDermott's in it. Who else is in this movie? Ian McDermott, Jeffrey Jones, Michael Gambon's in it. Like, it's got a pretty big cast. Michael Go's in it. Christopher Walken's in it. So,
okay, thank God it's included with the Prime.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Christopher Lee's in it. That's right. I forgot he's in it.
Oh my goat, Doc Brown.
Like it's very Tim Burton, but because it's it's Johnny Depp, so like it's Johnny Depp and Tim Burton. It's very much it's a gothic horror film.
It's like bread and butter.
Really
Johnny Depp and Tim Burton.
Here's something I will recommend you do when you're watching it, because Christopher Walken plays the Headless Horseman while he has a head. Without the head, it's Ray Park, who is, if you don't know who that is, that's Darth Maul.
Yeah. I know who it is.
So, there are scenes with the Headless Horseman fighting, which is always funny. But if you look at it, you can kind of see the Darth Maul fighting style, which, if you can lock onto it, takes you out of it for a minute, because you think, oh, look, the Headless Horseman's a Sith Lord. That's hilarious. And on top of that, you have 3 Sith Lords in this movie, being the Emperor, Count Dooku, and Darth Maul. So, stacked cast, solid script. I'm excited to see your opinions on this one next week.
I think of 2 things when I think of Christopher Walken. I think of 2 things. One is most recent memory, Dune Part 2.
Good movie.
Absolutely amazing film.
All right.
I know you're indifferent about that movie, but... and then the other one is The Jungle Book.
Oh my god, I forgot he was in that, yeah.
He plays the Gigantopithecus or whatever. He's like... I find it so funny to think it's Christopher Walken behind that. He's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And like into the mic. I don't know why. It makes me laugh thinking about it, but it just does.
Christopher Walken did a lot of stage acting. Like, I remember he did the live Broadway performance. Yeah, and he did the live Broadway performance, like when they did the televised like theater performances. They did Peter Pan, and he played Captain Hook. Oh, that was not good, but it was so fun watching him like prance around as Captain Hook like 10 years ago. It was great. So, but yeah, so Sleepy Hollow, definitely a good fall spooky movie. I have higher hopes for you with this one. But yeah, that's next week's assignment, and I'm excited. I'm really excited because this is one of my favorite films.
Nice.
One of my favorites. Johnny Depp's one of his really like one of his best performances, I think. I mean, it's kind of not saying much because he plays the same character in every Tim Burton film, but I don't know. There's something about this film that's just near and dear to my heart.
I'm excited for this one. Johnny Depp doesn't really disappoint me, so I don't have any dispositions going into this one. Thanksgiving I did. I knew it was going to be absolutely awful as soon as you recommended it.
Well, okay, here's the thing with Sleepy Hollow is too, like, I think I texted you this. It is also a murder mystery. So like there's the whole like Ichabod Crane, basically, he's not the same as he was in the Washington Irving short story. In this one, he's a detective from New York City, and they send him off to a small town in New York called Sleepy Hollow, to use his new, like, he's been developing new detective skills, ways to solve murders, things like that. They send him to this town to solve the murders of the Headless Horseman. Like, people have been found with their heads chopped off. We find out that there's supernatural things going on, but there's a reason for it, and there's like puzzles to solve, like things are connected. So you're kind of engaged the whole time, and it's a detective murder mystery, supernatural, gothic thriller, if you will.
Okay.
So yeah. A lot more to be involved with in this film.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm sure I'll like it more than Thanksgiving. That's now the baseline for bad films on this podcast.
Well, we haven't talked about Thor: God and Thunder yet, or Love and Thunder.
Oh God, don't remind me of that.
That's the baseline of bad films for me forever, for anything. I hate that movie more than anything on the planet.
I remember sitting there, and I didn't even like Ragnarok. I generally don't like any of the Thor films that much, besides the first one. The first one's like the only one I actually like enjoy. And what's it called? I'm blanking. Yeah, the first one's the only one I really enjoyed, and I knew going into Love and Thunder it was going to be bad, because I didn't like Ragnarok whatsoever, and it looked even stupider than Ragnarok. And so I was like, okay, great. I'm going to go in for absolutely the worst movie ever, and they're going to botch Jane Foster as Thor, and they're going to botch Gore the Butcher, and Christian Bale, probably one of the best actors who stepped foot into the MCU, and absolutely waste him. And,
calm down.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's, like, the best one.
I said he's one of the best.
I will
Not
say,
the best.
I liked Ragnarok for a reason. Like, it worked for what they were trying to do, which was one last fun movie before the MCU got dark for a few years. Because right after Ragnarok, we go straight into Infinity War, which goes into, obviously, Endgame. To me, the script was done in a way where it gave us, like, one last, like, fun hurrah, here's a good time. It was, I see what you're saying, because it was a very different change tone-wise from the previous two.
Are you saying that Ant-Man and the Wasp was a dark year?
Well, no, but like all of that.
I mean, it was a dark year. It was not a good movie, but it was not dark whatsoever.
Well, no, but Ragnarok was the movie that came out before Endgame.
Right. No,
sorry, Infinity War. Because the ending of Ragnarok is
Infinity War, then Ant-Man and the Wasp, then Endgame.
Right, because Infinity War, like Ragnarok ends with Thor. Oh my gosh, with Thanos' ship showing up, which is the beginning of Infinity War, where he's like massacring everybody on the ship to steal the Infinity Stone. Right. So like that, it was kind of like the one last like Marvel fun movie, really, before we got into everything that happened in Infinity War. And yeah. Ant-Man and the Wasp, like, here's the thing with that movie, is it's not good, it's not bad. The thing I hate with the Ant-Man movies, because the first one's really good, but the last two, awesome. The last two Ant-Man movies literally act as a segue film to reach something different in the next movie. So, like, the entire point of...
Sorry,
Huh?
continue.
I was gonna say the entire point of like Ant-Man and the Wasp was just to get to the end credit scene to show how they're gonna solve the issue in Endgame. And the entire point of the last Ant-Man and the Wasp movie was to bring in the Kang the Conqueror and the Council of Kang or whatever the heck it was called, which is now since canceled.
Yeah, that very much is not a thing anymore.
No, it is not. But both of those movies served as a purpose just to set up another movie. They were throwaway movies. Now
here's the thing that I always think about too. Why is Ant-Man that segue? Who decided that? Like, it doesn't make sense. Who really said, let's put Kang the Conqueror up against... Oh no, let's put Ant-Man, probably one of the weaker Marvel superheroes, up against probably one of the strongest, most reputable Marvel villains to exist.
First of all, we can't forget the fact that Kang the Conqueror was defeated by a bunch of ants.
Literally.
So there's that. It was the movie now, because they've canceled, the Kang Dynasty. It's a throwaway movie. It's not important.
Yep.
What they did with MODOK was despicable.
Oh my god, it made me so mad. MODOK was awful in that movie. I remember, like, when they first announced MODOK was going to be in the movie, I was like, okay, this could either be really good or a hot steaming pile of garbage. It was a hot steaming pile of garbage.
They hurt themselves because not too long before that movie came out, Marvel had released a thing on Adult Swim, I believe, about MODOK, and Patton Oswalt played MODOK.
Yes.
It was like a claymation animation style.
Yes.
And it was very much TVMA. It was very mature. It was raunchy jokes. And I'm like, that's MODOK. That's perfect.
Uh-huh.
And I thought they were doing that to kind of get everyone to know who MODOK was, kind of like as like a, like almost like a refresher, or for the people that didn't know, kind of like a tease of what MODOK is and what to expect in Ant-Man. It absolutely was not that. I was so disappointed. Honestly,
I am not a dick. Like, what?
It was perfect. No, that was dumb. That was so dumb.
That was so awful. It was so awful. I am not a dick. It was like, what is that? What?
Yeah, no, it wasn't funny. It wasn't good. I'm glad we don't need to care about that movie ever again.
Me
but
too.
Anyway.
I'm surprised we're even talking about it.
No, at some point we'll need to do a Marvel phase, month where we go through, we just kind of overview the phases each week.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's so bad. But, yeah, so... How are we doing over there? On time?
I mean, we're good. We're about at 52 minutes. So, I mean, we're chilling. But, yeah. I'm not excited about Spooky Month whatsoever.
We're already almost not done, but we're getting there.
I just need this podcast to hold out till May at least.
Oh no, we're gonna hold out.
We're gonna hold out till May at least, just so I can have my month and make you suffer.
And here's where I kind of feel bad, and I'll give you this. I will give you, hold on. I'll give you part of June. I'll give you the first week of June to extend your anime, just because the first week of May, unfortunately for you, is Star Wars. So,
which is rude. It's rude. Star Wars had to have the same month as anime.
First of all, Star Wars is better than anime. I will die on that hill.
What if Star Wars had an anime, which they do?
Yeah, they have 2 of them.
Yeah,
2 seasons of it.
Which actually are pretty good.
A fraction of them are good.
Oh. Well, I mean, yeah, actually, no, there was a couple of... Actually, no, I'll agree with you on that. And I only watched the first season because, only 2 of the episodes were actually good.
I will say, the first season had, half of it I thought was really good. Season 2 had some, the art and some of them were really good, but I feel like they're losing the essence of Star Wars, which, okay, I guess, but it's just not keeping me there.
The 2 episodes I love the most from the first season of Visions was the first episode with, the samurai, and then then the other episode with the twins.
Oh yeah, that was good. I will say one of my favorite episodes was because it actually had a twist that caught me off guard, which is where I forgot what the name of the episode was, but they were all building lightsabers basically, and you think they're all Jedi, and then at the very end where they all ignite their lightsabers, they're all red except for the one blue. I'm like, holy crap, they're all Sith. Like that was actually a super cool twist that I enjoyed a lot.
Huh? I don't remember that one. Was that first?
Oh,
season?
it was a really good episode.
Was that first season?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, like they're all literally building their lightsabers, and you're kind of getting to know them, like while they're doing this or whatever. And I forgot the main details of the episode because I've only seen it the one time. But at the very end, like the lights turn off, and they're all like standing in a circle, and then all of them ignite their red lightsabers, and it's like, holy shit, that's insane. And they're all bad.
That is
cool. It was pretty cool, yeah. But yeah, so I'll extend your anime month, so you get a full month.
Appreciate
at least.
That.
Because we gotta do Star Wars. We can't not do Star Wars.
That's true. Yeah. I just this month's gonna be the absolute like bane of my existence. I remember
honestly, I don't know. I
everything in me to turn on that episode. I was highly last night debating like, do I just show up to the podcast and then like read a synopsis online and pretend like I've seen the movie, or do I just actually stick it through and watch it?
If you want me to watch your anime movies, you're gonna watch horror movies.
I know. That's why I did it.
You're gonna like this one. You're gonna like.
I'll watch this one. I was not excited about Thanksgiving. This one, I'm a little bit more excited about.
And then you're probably gonna not be excited for Evil Dead Rise because that's an actual spooky one. That's a sound. Evil Dead Rise is so much fun. It is, but that's more on the spooky side. So we'll see how that goes. And then we're gonna end it off with Halloween, obvi. So it'll be fine. We're good.
Great.
It'll be a blast and a half.
Halloween, I'm fine with watching. As I stated last week, only one I've seen is Halloween Ends, so I probably should watch the first one.
I can't believe that. I'm trying to block the memory from my brain that you
look.
Only
it wasn't my choice.
I remember the story. I don't care. It just hurts, okay? Because the fact that movie exists bothers me to no end. So, yeah. And that came out the same year as Love and Thunder. That's like I lost faith in movies for a minute after those two movies.
Oh man, Love and Thunder was awful. Wait, Love and Thunder and what was the other one?
Halloween Ends. They both came out like back to back.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, so it was not a good time. I had lost faith in movies. I was like, maybe I just don't need to see anything ever again. Maybe I'm good forever. Like it was so bad. I will say this year with the movies have kind of been good for me. Like, we had Civil War, we had Alien Romulus, we had Deadpool. I mean, and a bunch of in between.
This was a good year for movies.
Yeah, we're picking back up. Things are pretty good again.
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple crapshoots in between, like Borderlands. Yeah. Kinds of Kindness.
I still have to watch that. I want to watch it.
It's like I said, it's absolutely insane. Like, I don't even understand it. Still, I think back on it, and there's parts of it I block out. I wish. I mean, have you seen The Last of Us show?
Yeah.
Okay, good. It's been on my mind recently because of it's zombies, and then also like I guess that's horror, so that's how I got connected to this. And then the season 2 trailer just dropped recently, and I played the games and everything. Have you played the games?
I've only played the first one. I haven't played the second one.
Oh, the second one's so good. It gets absolutely crapped on so much.
I've heard the exact opposite from everybody.
I know.
You're the first person I've heard say that.
The only reason why is because they switched something midway through the game, and there's a reason for that, though. But nobody cares enough to sit through and find the reason. And the reason's so good when you finally get that payoff. And it's so good. I love it. And then people get pissed about the decision they made with a certain character towards the beginning of the show, but it was necessary for what they teased in part 1, and it also drives something in the other character so much to a point where it's so good. And I will
say it's one of those where I know it's been out for a while, so if I get spoiled, I can't get mad, but I'm trying to avoid.
Yeah, that's why I'm not saying any spoilers.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it spoiled for you.
It's funny. I want to play the second game before because I have it. I have the second game. I just have not had time to play it.
There's also a lot of controversy around it because people are saying it's too gay, which I'm like, okay, like really, like if that's the reason.
Is that one episode?
Huh? No, it's the game. Like the second game, people hated on it.
That's right.
Yeah, and I'm like, really, you really gonna shit on the game because of that? Like, find better reasons. Like that's ridiculous. But I mean, yeah, I don't know.
People complain. I get it. Like I said, I don't know really anything about much.
Yeah, it's a good game, and I think The Last of Us Part 2 succeeded in making a certain group of people that are in the game more scary than the clickers.
That's interesting.
I remember the first time I encountered this like group of people in the game, I sat there and was genuinely horrified. And like I was afraid to move. I didn't know how to fight them. I was just like, "Oh my gosh." And also it takes place in Seattle, which I used to live near, so I've been there plenty of times. And seeing locations in game that are in real life and being in those spots before was insane to me. I like genuinely couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa, they got this down to a T. Like there was roads that you go on in that game and spaces you go in. I'm like, I've been on these roads like so many times. It freaked me out how accurate it was. And my friend who lives in Seattle currently, he was like, that's the hospital I work at that you're in this scene. I was like, no way. Like, that's crazy. So, yeah, I loved Last of Us Part 2. I thought it was phenomenal. And so, I loved Last of Us Part, like, the show. I thought it was a phenomenal adaptation of the game. Probably the best video game adaptation that exists, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It was really good. It was well done.
So I'm excited for season 2. That's my big thing I love and has been on my mind all week because the trailer already was bringing out emotions in me because part 2 actually made me bawl my eyes out several times. There was actually a point in part 2 where I had to turn off the game because I was so emotional.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, I've never had that guttural of a reaction from any piece of media in my life. I literally had to, like, turn off the game.
Then you've never played Life is Strange Part 2.
I haven't played Life is Strange at all.
Oh, boy. That's the only game that's ever, like, brought emotion out in me.
Really? I've had plenty of games bring emotion in me. Anyways, but, yeah, we got a little off topic there. But this week's weekly showing... Sleepy Hollow, 1999. Tim Burton, Johnny Depp. I'm excited to watch it. Are you going to rewatch it as well?
Absolutely. Any reason I get to watch this movie makes me so happy.
And then, what are we pairing it with?
That's a great question.
I almost would say that Angry Orchard would work again for this.
No,
but we did that last week. So
we did that last week. I didn't actually think that far ahead. I would want to do a mixed drink, but we can't do that yet because this one definitely needs. This one's more of a bloody movie. Not as much as Thanksgiving, but you know, heads are getting chopped off. Let me think. I honestly don't know. I do not know what to pair with this movie.
Come on, man. You're the bartender here. You're supposed to know these things before the movie.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I know what I would want to pair with it. Like, you know, mixed drink wise. You know what? Let's use the old Google real quick. Themed... Hold on, let's see what we got.
ChatGPT it.
Let's see what we got.
I'm actually genuinely curious to see what ChatGPT has to say.
I could. Let's
I'm pulling it up right now. Let's see here.
ChatGPT. Let's see what we got.
I'm doing it right now. Let's see here. Pair an alcoholic drink with Sleepy Hollow movie 1999. For a cozy pairing with Sleepy Hollow, try a rich and spiced mulled wine. Warm flavors of red wine, cinnamon, cloves, and orange will match the film's gothic atmosphere perfectly. Serve it with hot, perhaps with a few apple slices, for a nod to the story's iconic imagery.
That actually sounds pretty phenomenal.
Give me another. I don't have wine, or I don't know. Oh, well then it says another great option would be a dark and moody bourbon cocktail, like a maple old fashioned.
A maple old fashioned. That actually sounds doable.
I don't know. I mean, I could buy some whiskey this week. I don't know how to make one though, so it should be interesting. You'll have to teach me, but I'm down for that.
Maple old fashioned is pretty easy. You can make it. All you'll need to actually get is your bourbon of choice. So the way an old fashioned is normally made, it's made with the bourbon, simple syrup, bitters.
Right,
which
and
is not expensive.
Muddled sugar, right?
If you want, I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend that with this. For this, you're gonna substitute the bar syrup or maple syrup. Sorry, the simple syrup with maple syrup. That'll give it the maple flavor.
Right.
Maple syrup is very sweet, so you're gonna want to shake that. No, don't shake that. That's not how you make an old fashioned. Don't shake it.
No, you stir it.
You're gonna stir that vigorously.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so over the ice, bitters, then pour in the maple syrup, then pour your whiskey or bourbon over it. Give it a good stir. If you want, I'm still a fan of the orange zest, but you don't have to go that crazy. Yeah. No, that actually sounds pretty good. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, we'll try that out. Let's see what we can do.
So if you have maple syrup, you can honestly go buy like one of the nips of like a bourbon or whatever, like a Jim Beam. 2 of those for like $2, and then you could buy a small bottle of bitters too at any liquor store.
And so, okay, I do want to say this. So a big reason why we don't do cocktails right now is because I am currently living with my parents because I don't have an apartment. I moved down to Texas recently and still trying to figure it out and get on my feet. But in November, I'm locked in with an apartment that's actually built. I had a whole thing with an apartment complex that was being built and then delaying it. But now I've changed, and now I have an apartment complex that's actually being built with the apartment finished, and it opens up November 25th, so I can move in that day, and then I can do all the mixed drinks I want.
Yeah, if all goes well there, we might actually be recording in person. And what I would like to be doing is having a drink while we have the podcast. So I would make the drinks. Kind of finish off the whole aesthetic of the bartender here. So
you definitely have to get like those like DJI like mics to hook up to ourselves if we're gonna do that.
I mean, yeah, whichever.
And then my apartment would definitely have space for that too, so that'd be good.
I have a bar set, so it'd be easy. Bring the stuff over, make some mixed cocktails. Maybe even have the drink that we paired with the episode. Like for that movie. So I
was sipping on an Angry Orchard right before we started this, so
you were just happy you got to buy Angry Orchard.
I actually haven't had Angry Orchard in ages. Like it's been a few years. I don't know. It was just never my choice of drink.
I think it's shot on. I think Angry Orchard is a lot better than I think it gets shot on.
It has to be cold. It has to be really cold. If you don't drink it like right away, it's not good.
No, it's not. But yeah, no, I got myself a 6-pack. I had a couple of them the other day, and I had a couple last night. It was good. I enjoy Angry Orchard. So this week, maple old fashioned with Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, cool. All right, so I think with that we're gonna end the episode there. Any final thoughts, Anthony?
No. I mean, not to sound repetitive, but I am also really this week for different reasons. Last week I was more excited to see Drew's reaction to an awful slasher film. This one I'm actually excited to see his take on one of what I consider to be one of my favorite horror films. I'm also interested to see if you consider it a horror film. That's been a conversation I've had with a lot of people. So I'm interested to see what your thoughts are, how the feelings are, what you consider this movie. And yeah, so I'm really excited for next week's.
Next week we'll have to have a discussion over like thriller versus horror because we kind of touched on that today, but We didn't do as much as now that I'm thinking I wish we did. But we can save that for next week because I definitely think there is a difference. So,
yeah, absolutely.
All right. So thank you guys so much for listening or watching again. We really appreciate it. Also, just real quick, I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the episode. We made it to 50 followers on Instagram, which is actually kind of wild for how quick this has happened. So thank you guys for everybody who's supporting us, watching weekly, or listening weekly, whatever your preferred platform is. So yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. We love you guys, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.